Hey guys, welcome back to another Modern Warfare 2 video. In today's video, we're going to be going over some new Modern Warfare 2 leaks, as well as some new Warzone 2 information. So, we have tons more stuff finally coming out, more about Modern Warfare 2. We got new leaks, we even have some official information, some teasers and stuff, lots of stuff. So, we're going to be going over some, like I said, some Warzone 2 stuff today, as well as the campaign, the Modern Warfare 2 campaign early access alpha sort of thing. Tomorrow we'll be going to be going over some new multiplayer stuff and what potentially we're going to get at that COD Champs reveal. We're going to have Modern Warfare 2 there. Well, Infinity Ward actually talked about that, so we'll talk about that in a video tomorrow, as well as some new Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer leaks. So make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel so you guys don't miss out on that. But here we go. First off, let's start out with Warzone 2. So this is coming from Activision's quarterly investor call, and this tweet is courtesy of Modern Warzone. He says, Activision reaffirmed that Warzone 2 will be launching in 2022 during their quarterly investor call earlier today. So basically, this just reaffirms that it's going to be launching. They've already said that previously, but like I mentioned this, I swear it was in yesterday's video, that, Warzone 2 is still supposed to drop before the end of the year, and they have not really said almost anything about it. We don't have like a full, name for the game. Is it actually going to be called Warzone 2? We don't have like a logo, we don't have a release date, we don't have a trailer, even a teaser for it really. We don't know anything about the game. And like I've said, they haven't done a whole lot of marketing for Modern Warfare 2, so what they're supposed to, market like the new Season 5 of Warzone, they're supposed to market Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer, they're supposed to market Modern Warfare 2 Spec Ops, as well as, Modern Warfare 2, the game is supposed to drop, as well as then they're supposed to, market DMZ somewhere in there, as well as Warzone 2, and they're supposed to basically do all that by like the end of the year. I don't know, I think it's a little rough, and it's, going to be a little cramped. But, it made sense. There's maybe some theories going around that Warzone 2 is going to get pushed to next year just because of, everything going on. Modern Warfare 2 launches October 28th, and we know that Warzone 2 is going to be launching sometime after that, so sometime between October 28th and potentially December 31st. Well, we also know from Raven that, they're going to be trying to not make the same mistakes they did last year, so they're going to try and avoid that, where they're, they don't want to drop a new Warzone map, or in this case, basically a new Warzone game, and then all of a sudden go, whoop, see you guys, and then just, split for the rest of the year, go on their vacations and, on their break. So it makes the most sense for them to drop Warzone 2 sometime in November. Now, personally, I just think it's not enough time for them to market all this stuff, but I don't know, it just reaffirms it, they told this to their investors, so it'd be like a very abrupt thing if they were to come out sometime later and be like, actually, sorry, we're going to push it into 2023. So it's still coming this year, just kind of a little update on that. Nothing really all that big there, but it is just one of those things that it's good to constantly get confirmation, especially because they haven't released any confirmation or really said anything to the community about it. So at least they're talking about it to their investors. That's good, right? So next up, let's talk about the Modern Warfare 2 campaign alpha. So Modern Warzone put out a tweet. He says, breaking, the COD companion app shows an upcoming CDL reward for 2022 test campaign. He says this confirms the recent data mines that revealed files for an early campaign access bonus for Modern Warfare 2, and they included this image of the COD companion app. It says upcoming CDL rewards. Rewards will be available in-game once you restart. All rewards are compatible with Vanguard and Warzone. 2022 test campaign. At 30 minutes of playing or doing whatever, watching or something, you get 15 minutes of a double XP token. Okay, well then he ended up actually deleting this tweet, and in his followed up, Charlie Intel responded to this. He says, I think this is just a test for the CDL rewards campaign, not the campaign early access thing. He says, yeah, it makes more sense looking at it from that perspective. It makes sense, I guess, yeah, like he says here, that, it might not necessarily mean campaign, it might mean like campaign as like an advertising campaign, like a campaign for the CDL rewards kind of thing, but I don't know, I thought it was interesting nonetheless because of this next tweet we have here coming from a reliable source and leaker, Tom Henderson. He says, I've heard from a few people now that the Modern Warfare 2 campaign early access is indeed a thing. We'll report more details once I hear more. So there we go. Tom Henderson, boom, right there. He confirms it. So, he's confirmed it. We've had other leaks and stuff confirm it as well. But I don't know. I mean, he says it right there. I think it'd be the perfect time. Like I said, in my other videos about the Modern Warfare 2 campaign early access, I said, it makes the most sense for them to drop it here in August. So I think that, on Sunday, on the 7th, we're going to be having this, CDL rewards thing. And they said that they will be talking about Modern Warfare 2 there. Well, are they going to talk about multiplayer? They didn't mention anything about them talking about multiplayer. I figure if they were going to talk about multiplayer, they would say that. That would, be part of their thing. Like, hey, tune in to, the championships here. Watch this, because you're going to get some exclusive first look at multiplayer in Modern Warfare 2. That would be a big selling point and a big marketing point for people to tune in and watch, is if they knew it was something regarding multiplayer, rather instead they just say something, like you're going to get another look or hear, interviews or whatever about Modern Warfare 2. We don't know if it's Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer, campaign, Spec Ops, DMZ, who knows? It could just be about, the game in general. Like, hey, just want to remind you guys that it's coming out October 28th. All right, back to you up there in the studio. Like something stupid like that. But honestly, I mean, my opinion, I think that maybe they announced something about this early access. I think that'd be perfect. They're like, oh, hey, we have an interview here. We have a little teaser or something like that. And, by the way, everybody who has pre-ordered the game on PlayStation, starting, say, next week, you'll be able to play the campaign early access, only on PlayStation, if you have pre-ordered Modern Warfare 2. So that's my opinion. I think that's what's going to happen, especially because we have, the new Season 5 is going to be dropping in a little under 3 weeks now. So I think that, maybe they released that before that. I think that Activision's marketing is kind of in a weird spot, because it's like, we have CDL, and then we have this new season. We have Season 5, and they're going to want to market that. And then, of course, they're going to probably try to market this alpha in some way. And then they're going to have to try to ramp up and, market about the multiplayer reveal that we're going to be having in September. So I would say either the campaign early access is before Season 5, or maybe it's right after. Because like I already mentioned this in another video, are they going to have some sort of live event happen within Warzone? We had one happen in Black Ops Cold War, or for Black Ops Cold War within Warzone. And we also had one happen within Warzone for Vanguard. You remember that whole thing last year with the train? It was like the limited time event. And then we had the bombers fly overhead, and that led into the reveal trailer for Call of Duty Vanguard. That was actually pretty cool. It was a cool way to actually do that. Nobody's talked about that, and it's kind of interesting because, I've mentioned this before, Activision has said that, for future reveals and teasers and marketing and stuff, they want to try to do it all within the game, within Warzone. It's a good way to market to a bunch of people, but I don't know. There's been no talk about that. I personally think that with Season 5, we're going to be getting teasers and stuff like that within it. So, are we going to be getting the early access before that, or is it going to be after that? I'm kind of shooting maybe for after that, but I don't know. Like I said, fingers crossed, maybe on the 7th, they announced that, and they're like, hey, starting on Tuesday, you guys can play campaign early access. I don't know. We'll see. But here we go. Next up, and lastly for this video, let's talk about this. So Activision, within their investor call, they had to go over their monthly active users, telling all their investors, like, all right, this is how many people are playing our games across, all the different platforms and stuff, as well as, different games and such. So specifically for Call of Duty, they released their figures for how many monthly active players there are. So here we go. So in June of 2022, which is, the last reported a month available, they had 94 million active players. Okay, well then you compare that, June of 2021, so last year, they had 127 million. So they have lost 33 million players over 1 year. 33 million, which that's not insignificant, that's, a third, that's 33% of what they got now. So like a huge drop in players. September of 2021, it dropped to 119 million, so you lost 8 million. And then in December, when they launched Caldera, right, they lost an additional 12 million. And then in March, when they finally started fixing Caldera and stuff, it dropped to 100 million. And then from March to June, you lost another 6 million. So, I mean, I find it personally really interesting that they went from, they had more people playing in June of last year than they did in December when Caldera dropped, when a new map dropped. They lost 20 million players. Like, that is just insane to me. But I don't know. I mean, that's, I guess, just what it is. It's just, people are kind of losing interest. But what do you guys think about this? I think it's really interesting. I saw an interesting tweet by Exclusive Ace. He says, I think they need to crank up the skill-based matchmaking and focus even harder on chasing short-term player retention metrics at the cost of gameplay quality and overall player experience. That should turn this trend around. Obviously, he's being sarcastic and joking here, but that's, in his opinion here at least, that is why this trend is here, is because they're chasing, like he says, chasing short-term player retention metrics at the cost of gameplay quality and overall player experience. People aren't going to continue to play these games if they're having an overall bad experience. If they're overall having a bad time when they play these games, they know that they're going to have to sweat, they know that, the games are going to be tough to get in, then they're going to stop playing. I haven't touched Modern Warfare multiplayer. I haven't touched Vanguard multiplayer in a bit. Like, I'll maybe play one game of multiplayer a week, if that. Like, I don't even remember the last time I played. It's probably been over a month since I played a multiplayer game. I play zombies in Cold War from time to time. I actually enjoy that quite a bit. But, yeah, I don't really play multiplayer. Haven't really touched Warzone. And it's just because, I don't have a good time anymore. It's just not fun for me right now. I'm hoping Modern Warfare 2 turns that around. But, yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think about that? I mean, like he says here, crank up the skill-based matchmaking, like, even more, Nah. Maybe that this, they've seen, like I said, a decrease of 36 million people. Maybe because they've seen a decrease of 36 million players, maybe they actually, reevaluate their strategy here. Like, are they really expecting to gain all those players back with the release of Modern Warfare 2? Maybe. But, I mean, they launched Vanguard. Like, this is Activision's monthly active users across all of their games. So this isn't just Warzone or Modern Warfare or something. This is literally Cold War, Warzone, Modern Warfare 2019, even Vanguard at this point too. So going from September to December, they launched Vanguard in that time frame, and they still lost 12 million players. And they launched a new Warzone map and still lost 12 million players. So, yeah, I don't know. Like, are you expecting, like I said, 36 million players? Are you expecting to get 36 million players back in playing your game in, October when Modern Warfare 2 comes out? Later in the year, like maybe November when Warzone 2 comes out? I'm sure, they're going to have an uptick of more people, especially Warzone 2, at least checking it out. But I would still consider and expect to see a drop again in September of this year. Probably less than 90 million at this point. If the trend continues, it'd probably be less than 90 million in September. But I don't know. What do you guys think about this? I think it's just interesting. And yeah, I mean, I think it's time for them to change things up, because obviously what they're doing, it's working to an extent because they're still making like over $1 billion a quarter in microtransaction sales and stuff. But at the cost of like how many active monthly players there are? Yeah, if I was a, major shareholder for Activision, I'd be worried about that. I'd be like, dude, what the freak? Like, you guys are losing so many players. How do we reverse this trend? Of course, hey, what about, launching Modern Warfare 2? What about Warzone 2? Okay, yeah, those are all good steps. Those are already planned. But, hey, maybe this will finally force Activision to change their skill-based matchmaking. Maybe it'll, make them change things around with how they deliver content. Maybe they deliver content faster. The community wants Verdansk back. Like, I'm sure you guys saw all the tweets and everybody talking about that they want Verdansk back in Warzone, or even in Warzone before Warzone 2 comes out, or even in Warzone 2, they want Verdansk back. Can you imagine how many more people would jump back in, even just for one game, to play Verdansk again if they brought it back? I don't know, dude. I'm sure you'd get at least 6 million players jumping back in just to even play it one time. Boom. Then you're back up to that 100 million had in March. Now you're not still on this consistent decline you've had for over a year at this point. So that's just my 2 cents. I mean, don't listen to the community, because obviously it's been working out so well so far, but I don't know, that's just it. So what do you guys take about this? Let me know in the comments down below. What do you guys think about the Warzone 2 still launching this year, about the campaign early access, as well as the overall players? Are you guys still playing the game? I wouldn't be surprised if we had a lot of people in the comments here like myself that aren't really playing the games, but are still really excited for Modern Warfare 2, hoping that Modern Warfare 2 will actually change things around and be different. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you next time.